Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I made a resin pendant for my daughter's tooth that I found. Uh, we're going through some old stuff and I found one of the tooths that came out when she was a little baby. So I'm pouring a little bit of resin in my mold to get the base, and I'm going to put it under the UV light for a minute. So that's just to harden it so we can go forward. So there's a little tooth. I'm going to add a little bit more resin to set the tooth in place. So this is the second pour. Okay. Drop it in. And I just center it with my X-Acto knife because I forgot my stick. And put it under the UV light again for a minute. So now that's hard. I'm going to add resin to the second half. The same way, I'm going to make the first layer. This one I'm making a little thicker. And I'm going to put some gold powder in there for just some background color. So I finally got my stick. They're just bamboo barbecue sticks, which I find the best because they're nice and sharp. And I'm just going to stir it around, add a little bit more resin. I'm getting to the end of my bottle, so it's getting a little hard to squeeze out. So fill it up. I don't want to put too much of the color in, just spread it around, distribute it. When I get it to how I want, I'm just going to add a little bit more resin to top it off. And I'm also going to fill the first half up to the top. Use my bamboo stick to even it out, pop some of the bubbles. Now, I'm not using a torch here to pop the bubbles because of the silicone mold, and I think the bubbles actually add a nice little effect to the pendant. Put it in the light for a minute. It's done. I'm feeling it to see whether it's nice and smooth. Got it. It's a little bit hot. Dropped it. Looks pretty good. When I pop it out, I put it under the light for 1 minute again. And it's nice and solid. So now I'm going to add some resin to the first piece so I can join the two together. So I got it on there, and I'm going to try to line it up and got it lined up. Lamp again for a minute. And now it's the moment of truth. So when I pulled it out, I was a little bit disappointed that I misaligned it. This happens every now and then, but all is not lost. Gonna give it one last cure. Now I'm gonna take it to my belt sander to even it out. So I've 60 grit on there, and I'm just gonna take light passes to get that ridge out to to get it as close to round as possible. This process will take about 5 minutes. Once I'm done, go to my orbital sander. I'm going with 600 grit. And this is how I keep it nice and round. I just put it in the middle and just roll it. Sometimes it falls out, just grab it, keep rolling it. And do this until you get it just the way you want. This process takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So I just keep changing angles, changing directions, and got it pretty close. So I'm going to take it in, give it a nice little wash. And this will give me an idea of how it will look. The next step is I'm using 1000 grit sandpaper. That takes about 10 minutes. After that, I'll use my Plastex McGuire's for headlight cleaning, and I'm going to buff it out on the wheel. This process takes about 15 to 20 minutes. As you can see, it's getting shinier and shinier, and it's pretty clear now. You can see where the two pieces join, but pretty happy with how it came out. So I'll take my little hand drill and drill a hole for the bail. Take some of my resin and there's a little blob of resin that I'll take the little bail, dip it in the resin, and fill up the hole with some resin. I wiped it off, and now I'm gonna put the bail in, get it to where I want, and put it under the lamp for a minute, and I'll set it in there. And there we go. My little tooth epoxy resin pendant.